Hi everyone, this is Crispy1001 at keepecosluff.com. I have decided to make a video on how to make a prop blur texture using Gimp 2.8 before we start our video 8 on how to use Blender and the Blender 2 FSX add-on to make models for Flight Simulator 10. I'm doing this for the new people to FSX, so they will be able to make their own textures for prop blur, because I did searching on the internet just to see what is out there for this subject, and I couldn't find any videos. I found a couple text files in forums that told everyone to use a DXTBMP program and to load up one of the default FSX prop blur textures and reverse engineer the process. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and make a video for everyone. So let's get started. What you'll need for this would be Blender 2.8. Here's the link for it to their website. You'll also need Gimp 2.8 DDS add-on, or the plugin. You get it at this web address. I will have these addresses on the resources for this YouTube video. Here is the web pages. Gimp 2.8. Click the download it, install it. The plugin, the DDS plugin for Gimp 2.8, depending on the version of the operating system you have, either 32-bit or 64-bit, you would download the zip file, unzip it. Let me go to that. Oh, I think I closed it. I'll go ahead and do it real fast. I have mine in software. Okay, so when you unzip it, you'll have a README file. It'll tell you where to install it, depending if you use the 32-bit or 64-bit version. And you will be taking this DDS application and putting it into the plugins folder. Okay, so let's get started. Let's open Gimp 2.8. And we will go File and New. We're going to go with 256 pixels. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. Hit File and New. 256 pixels, height 256 pixels. Go to Advanced. I'm going to change that to at least 160 bits resolution. And background color transparency. Okay. I'm going to hit the Control key on the keyboard and the middle mouse button to zoom in. I'm going to go to Image, go to Guides, New Guide by Percentage. Click on the little icon flashing down in your Start menu. We want to do horizontal first, so hit OK. Go back to Image, go to Guides, New Guide by Percentage. This time change it to vertical, and OK. This is so that we can find the exact center to this image, so when our prop blur is spinning, it's not out of center. Next, we're going to click into our color palette. We are going to set our first color. In the HTML notation area, type in 25, 25, 25, and OK. We're then going to go to the bucket fill tool. We're going to click in this layer and left click. We're going going to go to the layers window, which is here. Double click on the name, and we're going to name this one prop color. We're then going to go to the ellipse selection tool. We're going to go down to expand from center and fixed aspect ratio. We're going to type in on the size 200 and 200. Let's see if it'll do it for us. Yep, I guess I have to do that after that. So let's just put it there, then go over, hit 200. There we go. And click, make sure that the little center of the circle is right on, it snaps to the center. Release. Go back to our color selection. The next color we want to pick and type in is 78, 78, 78, and OK. We want to go back to the bucket and click in the ellipse selection area. Then we're going to go back to the ellipse selection tool. Left click once inside of the circle, and we're going to go, and over here we're going to type in 100. That's good. Go back to our selection, our color selection. This time we're going to type in 9F, 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 and OK. We're going to pick our bucket tool again, click in the middle. We're going to go to select and select none. Let's go ahead and save our file at this point so we don't lose anything if anything happens. So let's go File and Save As. We want to navigate to where we have our Blender test plane project at. So go to your location that you saved yours at. And once you get there, you want to type in text or click in the textures folder. I'm going to name this one prop blur underscore T and enter. Okay, it is saved. I'm now going to make sure this prop or this layer, the prop color, is selected, and I want to duplicate it. So go to the Layers tab and duplicate layer. Double click on the name for prop color copy. We're going to click to the end of that to get rid of the copy and put underscore T and enter. We're going to left click on the layer and pull it down. We're going to click on the little eyeball, which will hide the layer. Now we want to go to Layers and New Layer. We're going to type in prop blur and enter. Move the prop blur layer above the prop color by left clicking on it and dragging it up. Now we want to make sure that we have the prop layer selected and prop blur selected. We want to click on the paintbrush tool. We want to click in the color palette. We want to type in FF, FF, FF for pure white and OK. We want to bring down and go to the very top of the first outside circle, and you'll notice that the brush will snap to that vertical line there. So let it snap there, and you want to click about in the middle, or your paintbrush tool is about in the middle, or that circle cuts the middle of your paintbrush tool, and left click once. Then with the shift key, click or hold down the shift key on your keyboard, drag down the mouse. You'll notice that you have a line now from there. Keep it straight, go all the way back down, and click in about the middle of the brush like you did before, right there, and release the shift key. Now we have a line going down. Now we're going to hide the prop color background, so click on the eye. We're going to click on the eraser tool. On opacity, we're going to kick it down to 50%. Oops. Come on. 50. We're going to let the tool snap to the middle, and we're going to erase the very middle of it. Oops. Yeah, that's good. Okay. That's good. Once you get it looking like this, that's fine. Let's then make sure this layer is highlighted. We will go to Layers tab and duplicate this layer. We will click on the prop blur copy, double click on it, rename it 360 prop blur, and enter. Left click on it, drag it down underneath the prop blur. Click back on the prop blur to select it. Hide the 360 prop blur. So now we only have the prop blur visible. We're going to go to Filters, Blur, and Motion Blur. We're going to go down to Blur Type, Radial, and in the angle we're going to type in 20. We're going to hit OK. Okay, that looks good. We're going to now hide our prop blur layer. We're going to click on the 360 prop blur layer and make it visible. We're going to go to Filters, Blur, Motion Blur. We're going to, in the angle, type 180 and enter, and OK. Okay, that looks good. Let's make both the prop blur and the prop blur, IN360 prop blur, visible. We're now going to make copies of both of these layers. So click on the prop blur layer first. Go Layer, Duplicate Layer. Click on the 360 prop blur layer. Go Layer and Duplicate Layer. Now bring the 360 prop blur copy, left click and bring it so it's underneath the prop blur copy. So you have both copies underneath each other. Prop blur copy above 360 prop blur copy. Hide the prop blur, hide the 360 prop blur. Click on the prop blur copy at the top. Go to Layers and merge it down. So now we've merged both of those two layers into one. We're now going to rename this layer to prop blur underscore A and enter. We are okay. Well, let's leave that visible. We're now going to click on the prop color layer. We're going to make it visible. We're going to right click on it. We're going to add layer mask. We're going to go black for full transparency. We're not going to invert. Go add. Okay. Next, we're going to go up to the prop blur A. We're going to click on it once. We're going to go to select all. We're going to click back on our prop blur or prop color. Oh, I'm sorry. Click on the mask, which is the dark black one. Do a right mouse click and go show layer mask. So it should be green. And we're going to, with your cursor in this in the main window, do Control V. Let's see if it did copy it. Let's turn off the prop blur A. Okay, it did not copy it. So let's click on that one again. Go edit and paste. Okay, it didn't do it. So let's copy it again. Go edit and copy. Click on this one. Make sure it is an editable. It is. And go Control V. There we go. So now we have that pasted layer floating. We want to make sure that we have our mouse cursor in the main window. Hit Control H to anchor that layer. Turn off the prop blur A or hide it. So now all we have is our prop color showing. We will now right click on that layer, turn off show layer mask, and turn off, do a right click again, go turn off edit layer mask. So now this is what's going to be shown for our prop blur. So let's hit, for right now, let's save our work. So File and Save. Okay, we're now going to hide our prop color. We're going to click on our prop color underscore T and make it visible. We're going to save this one as our texture that's going to be applied to our model, our prop blur model in Blender. So we're going to go File, Export As. Make sure that you are in your Blender test plane project folder and in the textures folder, and make sure it says prop blur underscore T dot PNG. That's good. And hit export. Go ahead and hit export. Okay, that one is done. Now let's turn off the visibility for prop color underscore T layer. Let's click on our prop color layer, make it visible. We're now going to go File, Export As. Make sure you're still in your proper or the correct folder, which is textures. And up here in the name, prop blur underscore T, take off the PNG and type DDS. Hit the enter on the keyboard pick on compression, DXT5, go down to MIMP Maps and say Generate, and hit OK. We are done. Let's go File and Save. Close our Gimp program. And that is the end of this tutorial. You have just made your very first prop blur. Now we will test it in video 8, how to use Blender and the Blender to FSX add-on to make models for Flight Simulator 10. I will try to have that video done as soon as possible. I thank you for watching my video, and I hope that you will subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I thank you very much. Bye.